Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are team G21, famously called G21, and we have Angad with us, Harshada, Rohan, and I am Pulkit. And today we are here to discuss about ABP, but our main aim is not just to discuss and analyze what the company is doing, but to get their vision, to get ABP to implement their vision of first time right. So before we do that, the agenda for today is first we'll go on and introduce what the case is and also what ABP is. Then we'll look at the problems that ABP is facing. We'll present you with the solutions and the implementation of the solution. And finally, we'll also have a risk analysis which will discuss how we can mitigate those risks that we foresee right now. So, talking first about ABP. ABP is an event organizing company, as they like to call themselves, and they have like diverse businesses. They have offices in various regions. They have around 5,000 SKUs, and they specialize in events, but they also provide products to their customers, such as furniture, or for event planning, customized products if they need for their events. So they have specialization in quite a lot of fields. One thing to note that they have 85 to 175 employees, which depends on seasonality, and their annual revenue, as noted, is around $17 million. So they have a good revenue. The situation which is presented to us in the case is an important event, and a very important event for a very important client. And on the day of the event, but before we go on the day of the event, there was a requirement for ABP to hire a project manager whose name was Sebastian, and he was in charge of that of this event. And while this event, a lot of things happened that led ABP to think about what they are doing and how they can improve it. So the event started off with missing chairs and bars. It's not a big deal, it can happen, but it led to a chain of events which led to a change in ABP. So there were around 12 missing chairs and 3 missing bars, and there was no handler to get them on site. This led to Sebastian implementing a plan where he asked one of the existing handlers to go and pick it up. This led to a 3-hour round trip for the handler, one handler less at the event, and there were some of the inconveniences, but they were able to handle this. Further on, the client told them that they had 24 wine glasses missing, and this chain event finally led to having consequences, which meant that Sebastian had to look at the reputation that the company had, and also he looked at the statistics, and he found out that there was a return rate of 68%, which means that the company had to go, the employees had to go back and forth 68% of the time that they were doing an event, which is quite a high number, and only 16% of which was because of the client's change in demand. So this number prompted Sebastian to think of techniques that he can implement in the company and improve it. So we have analyzed this problem, and we have divided our problems into 2 major things that were happening at ABP, which is first higher return rate, and the 3 major pieces of it is lack of material, which is 41.6%. Now this is a big one, because like not having the material at the day of an event is like you cannot go ahead with it. So 41.6%, this was a big problem that they needed to tackle. Then there was order loading error, which is mostly due to the communication and also like coordination between different teams. And finally, lack of adequate installation materials, which is again part of, I would say, materials, but it is like the installation devices that are required. The second bigger issue was how to tackle the reputation that we are losing. For that, we see that there are quality issues that need to be addressed. The defected materials, damages which is caused during transportation, and sometimes just completely incorrect materials delivered. So these definitely have an impact on their reputation, and definitely loses customers in the long run. So if we are able to tackle these two problems in a way that we still retain our customers and also improve the quality and the service that we provide them, we believe that we'll be able to provide them with better service, and we'll be also able to improve our reputation and also implement first time order delivery. So the solution I like to call Harshada.
Hello everyone. And going through the case, I know like how hard CX manager and project manager is working. So that's why my first solution for you guys is, after going through this process, it starts from sales and it ends with the shelving. All the steps are over here, from production, order preparation, logistic orders, like to event, and then the end is shelving. The first one is ERP installation. ERP will help in centralizing all the processes. So in case if a product is scanned while this process, order preparation, everyone will get an intimation that this many orders are listed and we have to deliver everything, and everyone will be on same page. Now, second one is a level of control. So I propose involving a project coordinator, because I understand how difficult it might be on you people. You're already going through a lot, and then again looking for integration and making sure that everyone is getting what they are, what they want. So I introduce this one more position. It's project coordinator, and he will also look after the SAP system, which I suggested in my previous slide. The third one is involving customers. USP of our company is giving customized events, and I understand that there might be a lot of parts that you people might be manufacturing on spot. So when we do order preparation is like in this process, they basically have all their parts in place and they are ready to ship. So I propose that while making this order and while doing this logistic order delivery, we involve a customer as much as possible. Customers gives something, he has something in mind, but as this is a customized order, it's very important to implement it as customer wants, and this will also help with our KPI of first time right. Now the last point is knowledgeable sales training, training for salesperson and production. So salesperson should exactly know that what he is committing to customer. He might commit something based on the order what he's getting or based on the code, but then it might be very difficult for the production person to implement it. So giving some training on production to salesperson or involving a production member in sales team. And also we see from the case that most of employees might be seasonal workers or temporary workers. So training for them is essential. So these are my solutions, and now I invite my friend Angad to more elaborate on how we are going to implement it.
Okay, so now talking about the WBS for the solution, we start a solution with implementation of ERP. This has the following steps, like getting the quotation for the ERP, then implementing it by including all the stakeholders such as from the sales, production, loading, logistics into the while integration of the ERP, so that each of them can address their issues that they face, and those can be addressed. Next come the sales. Say for the sales, the WBS would be to start with the training, to have the knowledge of the product, what goes behind it. Then then the salesperson will punch that order in the ERP. Then he will get a verifying sheet. He'll get it verified from the customer. And once the customer verifies it, then only it goes ahead for the production in the system. Once it goes ahead in the production, it goes ahead in the production. The production person will look at the list of the items required, check in the warehouse if it's there or not. If it is not there, he will start producing, and at the end of the production, put on a barcode which will keep the track of the material. the barcode needs to be put on the multiple places so that it doesn't get removed during the transit. After scanning the barcode, it shows in the system that the material is ready. Then it hands over to warehouse person. The warehouse scans the barcode, and in the system you can see that the material is in this particular shelf at that location. After that, the loading person will come. The order preparation person will come for the picking. It will pick the material from the warehouse, scans it in the system. It shows that the material is picked. Then that person will pack the material in a standardized box, which will have the constraints for the material from all the sides so that it avoids the damage during the transportation. Then after packing, it scans the picking person will scan the material, the packaging, so that you can track in which packaging what material is there. After that, it hands over to the loading person. The loading person will scan it as received. Then as it starts loading it in the truck, it keeps on marking that what all materials are loaded in the truck and which truck number, so that you have tracking of in which truck number the material is there. After it gives a green signal that yes, all the materials are in there, then it hands over to the logistic person. The logistic person will verify it. Then it will check the routes, the current situation of the routes, whether there are any roadblocks or there are any potholes on the route, so that they can avoid the damage during the transportation. After that, it goes to the delivery. The logistic person will deliver the material at the site. The person at the site, which is the site manager, will receive the material in the system, and then they can start unloading. Now, this is the whole solution that we propose, which will help to reduce the damage and the shorting of the material. Next is the risks, which Rohan will take care.
So, as a solution involves completely revamping the process. Earlier, we had separate parts, like the salesperson was taking orders differently, different information was going to the manufacturing. Now, with our system is totally integrated. Like when the salesperson takes the order, it will completely get integrated, but there will be risk involved. For example, implementation, like implementing ERP won't be simple. There will be people. There will be complications according to the process. For example, the different departments won't be able to coordinate well. So for this, we suggest that we will go through a phased implementation process. We will be having a feedback, and we'll have an agile approach for the implementation, so that we can improve with each and every improvement. Secondly, we have one more significant risk, that the ERP implementation can go over budget. So for that, we need to firstly plan and comprehensively decide what are the services that we want. What exactly are the services? Like, we won't be going with all-in-one service, but we'll be choosing a company that can provide services according to our needs. And for that, we'll be using the implementation, or the company that's according to our budget. Thirdly, there will be increased operational challenges with the ERP. In fact, if we start using codes, scanning codes for each and every product, there will be challenges with the operations. So for that, we need to first properly train our individuals, our employees, and our workforce to use the handheld machines for scanning the codes, as well as for the ERP. And this will go along with the training. And thirdly, major risk can be that because we are involving client in the whole process, there can be a risk of excessive communication, or the client may not respond on time. So for that, we say that we plan each and every survey and the catch up and discussions according to the phase. So this is basically all the risks, and we thank you.
So we're going to start with 5 minutes of question from the judge.
I have a question concerning the solution which involved the customer. Maybe I didn't get it, but do you mean that the customer should come in our warehouse and be there during the loading of the truck, or?
Not while the loading, but we should involve customer. Like if you, I'm not sure how you create the parts. So in case if you have any CAD system or where you design your layouts, so maybe we can show that to customer to ensure that everything he wants are as per his intentions. We can also, if we do not have that CAD software, we can also give a list just to make like customer sure or give him an idea that what we are going to do.
I have more global questions about your solution. Can you explain me, like very, very quickly, the correlation between the two high issues that you have already identified, the high returns rate and the quality issues, and the solution, like the ERP? How you make the link between the solution and the problem?
Sorry. So as we this main issues of our quality and high return rate, and we have the solution was SAP ERP. So we found out from the case that there is a communication gap. Salesperson might be taking correct order, but either they are not giving the correct input to production team because they are not or they are not able to. There are many scenarios. So the best solution we thought was to keeping everyone on same page. Like an ERP system, if salesperson enters the order in that system, everyone will come to know. Production team will come to know what exactly they have to make. When they have an idea, production team can that time itself tell whether this is feasible or not.
And another adding to it, like if I may go back to the slides. Yeah, so talking about like the lack of material or order loading error or like defective material damage during the transportation. So like during the packing of the material, we have introduced the standardized packing, which will constrain, like for example, a wine glass. It will constrain the wine glass from the 4 directions so that it doesn't move during the transportation. So it will ensure that it is not damaged during the transportation. So in this way, we can manage some quality issues.
So just to be clear, so your recommendation is to implement a full ERP system, or not just like some modules of an ERP?
No, so sorry, my solution is not to implement whole ERP because revenues are not that much for SAP full ERP implementation. But yes, we can consider modules like SAP by Design, or we can consider Microsoft Dynamics. We have to take suggestions from the external consultant who usually tell like which software we have to implement. To make balance like between cost and operational efficiencies.
We still have a minute and 30 seconds to take up.
Maybe I misunderstood, but you spoke about scanning the item and then scanning the package of the item. Is that
Yes.
right? This is really good because we are having a hard time with the protection of our items, and our delivery guys and the loading dock never know like on what is they see the package and they don't know where it goes.
Yep.
And with that, if we go with the ERP, it's a really good idea. I really like it. I just wanted to make sure I understand it well. But it's perfect.
That's it. And the other thing about is that like once you pack whole, like you have a box of wine glasses, plates, and everything. You scan that box, and then the unloading guy knows that in which box what material is it, so it opens it as per the requirement.
And in case there is incorrect order, so the system will directly tell you that this order doesn't belong to this delivery.
Considering the fact that in our warehouse and in the whole company, technology is not where it should or could be. In the warehouse, we actually work right now with papers, a lot of papers everywhere. How exactly is your solution appropriate for the people in the warehouse that are not really good with computers and everything? How?
So I think this problem we discussed about.
I will give you 30 seconds to answer since the question, the period is not stopping. So in 30 seconds.
Okay, so this we'll tackle through our phased implementation process, where we'll train we'll get the technology we want, we'll train our employees, and through phased implementation, we'll give them the proper training how to use it and how to implement it. So our phased implementation focuses really on getting the knowledge inside the employees and how to use it, and then making sure the technology we have can be maximized, like used to maximum capacity. So.
Notre équipe est un peu en retard.
Last question. I haven't seen a budget. So how are we going to budget this implementation? Do you have like an average, some kind of information about the budget?
So like we did discuss some financials. So our idea was to like outsource the ERP implementation through a third party, and for that we'll require external consultants, but we are targeting somewhere around 3 to 5 million to do our implementation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do you still have pages?